3 days late, Lucy has finally arrived, and they're about to find out.
We're about to meet Jez, who's just strolling in there. Look at him.
How you doing?
All right, mate. All right.
Hello.
So basically, this is what we've been waiting for. Basically, we're going to... Where are we going, Glenn?
I think we're going to
Scotland, maybe?
Scotland. This is Lucy. She's our plesiosaur, our Loch Ness monster. And she's going to strap to the top of the sub and hang underneath the boat, we hope. It's all very exciting, and at last we're here.
So come and feel that. Come and feel it. Feel how that makes
Meet and
feels.
greet. Ooh, she's sticky.
That's them convinced now.
It's amazing the jaw. It's fantastic. Have we got to turn on the head?
Operating Lucy on dry land is one thing. Getting her to work in the water with the sub is quite another. James is going to have to rely on his team of divers if they're to stand a chance of pulling it off.
I'd enjoy the challenge in building that team, and it's just great. You know what I mean? It's a team effort.
That's perfect, huh? I think I'm pretty happy with that. Why don't we swim around and see if we can position on the sub?
We're going to position Lucy on top, which should be good. Finally all coming together.
Nothing like this has ever been tried before.
It's not bad, is it? Look at that. Nice hump.
And James is worried about safety. He's decided 2 divers must escort Lucy and the sub, in case something goes wrong. Joining Michael in the sub is Stuart, an animatronics expert who'll operate the monster.
Go for a neck raise, please. A neck raise.
Neck raise.
Ooh, very nice. And now a head turn and a mouth shut.
Oh yeah, now we like it.
In your own time, Mike, if you now want to go into reverse on your thrusters. She's coming around nicely, Mike. She's coming around. Reduce speed on port, more on starboard. Now you're talking. And a little bit more speed, but she's off.
Standing by for manoeuvres.
Stuart, can you do some neck movements for us, please? It's a bit jerky, isn't it, Jez? To solve that. It's pretty cool though from here. That's beautiful, that's beautiful, that's what I want to see. I think it's going quite well. I'm actually feeling quite confident now. Good effort. Very happy.
There's some fine-tuning to do on the buoyancy and animatronics, but Lucy's maiden voyage has exceeded everyone's expectations. James decides to push it further and try a dive.
Both engines forward in that position.
Both engines forward.
Down you go, into the dive.
It's nice.
That's it, you have left the surface, you've left the surface. Do a count of 10 and then drive back up and a little bit of air in Lucy. Come up the surface now, please. Up you come, dive up. A little bit of air in Lucy, please.
There we go.
Come to the surface, please. Mike, bring her to the surface, please, nice and slowly.
Going back, we're going down.
Right, bring it up. Sub to surface, sub to surface. Sub to surface, sub to surface. Divers 1 and 2, do you have sub in visual? Sub to surface. Sub to surface. Diver 1, is that sub? Okay, divers 1 and 2, if you can do an emergency assist for the divers out, please, over. Visual, get the 2 divers out, please, over.
The sub has sunk and is lying over 80 feet down and flooding rapidly. Michael and Stuart each carry less than a minute's emergency air supply, so they need to get out fast.
Bring the 2 passengers to the surface, please, on a controlled ascent. A controlled ascent. Bring the 2 passengers to the surface on a controlled ascent. Okay, passenger on surface.
We rolled down the rocks a little bit, bumping side to side like that, and then hit the bottom. Then slid a bit more, then hit the bottom. The cockpit had about that much air in it, right at the top. But we're nearly out of main air, so we flooded the cockpit with the reserve, but it's not going to move.
You're right. That was good. It was, eh? There's all action stations for a minute down there.
It was a bit.
I'm gonna go grab a cup of tea now. Just calm my jangling nerves.
If this had happened in the dark, 900 feet deep waters of Loch Ness, the outcome could have been very different. This time, Michael and Stuart are okay. But if Lucy or the sub are damaged, it could spell the end of the mission. And months of hard work will count for nothing. It's late August, peak tourist time at Loch Ness. The team and their monster have to be here in the next 10 days before the season ends. The Loch Ness legend attracts thousands of visitors from around the world and generates millions in revenue. It's no coincidence that someone from the tourist industry started Monster Mania back in the 1930s.
In May '33, the people who ran the Drumnadrochit Hotel said they'd seen something strange in the water, and the local newspaper got hold of it, and they said if it's as big as it seems, we can't just call it a creature, it must be a real monster. And that was the first time that the word monster had been used, which happened to be exactly 2 months after the movie King Kong opened. People do want to believe in monsters. Some people really need to believe that there's something strange in Loch Ness.
Back at the secret test site, the team's monster is proving just as elusive as the real thing. Both it and the sub are lying 80 feet down at the bottom of the reservoir.
The rescue plan for Nessie, she obviously made a bolt for freedom. Yeah, the funny thing is everyone's like panicking. I mean, we know where she is. It's not like we've lost her in the middle of Loch Ness, which is handy.
To recover the sub and Lucy, the divers are using an enormous lift bag, which they will attach and then inflate with air.
Diver 1 leaving the surface.
Surface to diver 1.
Divers 1 and 2, confirmed. Sub is on the surface. Stand clear.
Divers 1 and 2, sub is on the surface and remaining there.
With time running out fast, the recovery efforts go on well into the night, and things don't look good.
Looking wounded. A bit of a scar across the back here. And an eyeball has popped. So she's winking.
She seems to want to keep her mystery, doesn't she? 14 weeks of work, and she makes a dive for it.
I want to know about that. I mean, she didn't arrive like that.
It looks like she's broken her neck. She's just moving very freely in a kind of
Broken neck way.
It is fixable. Again, it's just a bit of time to do it.
Back at the workshop, urgent repairs on Lucy get underway. But closer inspection shows the sub has also come off badly.
I'm very concerned. Both the motors are completely flooded. We've had water in the battery box up to the terminals. It could be pretty major. It could be a complete write-off. All that water has just come straight out of the motor. Motors don't usually run very well with water in them.
It didn't like that then, did it? Well, mine is one speed control.
Yes, I saw the flames licking around cars.
Well, if this works, it gives us a fighting chance.
Yeah.
The repairs have cost vital testing time, and there's still a lot to do to master the control of Lucy and the sub in the water. There's just 1 week left until they're due at Loch Ness. Though time is precious, James puts safety first and insists on testing the newly repaired sub before he'll risk attaching Lucy.
Subsurface, we have lost power.
Say again.
We have lost power.
Roger that.
Subsurface, we have smoke in the cockpit.
Smoke in the cockpit. Mike, leave it on and exit the cockpit.
Roger that, exiting the cockpit.
Smoke in the cockpit.
Everything was going very smoothly, then I had a complete power failure. So I came back to the surface and smoke was pouring out the breaker switch hole. So I just shut everything down and came out. It was getting pretty unpleasant in there actually. There was only one thing I hadn't done to the sub so far, and that was burn it. And I think it's burning as we speak.
With just 3 days left, James has no choice other than to scrap the sub.
It's one of those decisions I had to make sooner rather than later, that it's just not going to work.
The initial idea for the submarine was a safe working platform, and it was a floating death trap.
With the sub banished to the corner of the car park, the team now face a mammoth problem. How do they maneuver Lucy in the water? Luckily, James has a plan.
Let's think about this. You could put that size tube in there, couldn't you? Let's just leave that there for a moment. Let's just try that then, huh? Let it go. Let's just give it a go, right?
The idea is to use an underwater rig attached to Lucy and operated by 3 divers.
You can control it from here. You pull it with 2 hands from there.
This time, James is taking no chances. He's determined she won't sink.
More buoyancy things.
The team know this is their last chance. They have just 2 days to make and perfect the new rig before they have to leave for Scotland and the uncharted waters of Loch Ness. Michael, now without his sub, has a new job.
Basically, I'm going to be lying down on this ladder, operating everything like that. Going to do the reveal, drop my hands down, and do the run home. Looks good, eh?
It's good, huh?
So hopefully the buoyancy is just about right, and now they're going to go for some runs.
With Michael working the animatronics, the other two divers will use motors attached to the frame to dive, surface, and drive Lucy through the water.
Okay, guys, so basically, it's up to you. You're the divers.